Hello and welcome to this mix up. We have two products, and mix up always involves a real sugar, except for the first mix up, but a real sugar soft drink and a spirit, a liquor. This is Pepsi-Cola made with real sugar. Pepsi-Cola made with real sugar. Pepsi-Cola was introduced in 1898, but most of it's made with high fructose corn syrup. So you can search around and sometimes you can find them made with real sugar. Okay. I got this on sale. It was $4.33 for the 12 pack. Okay. Now it's going to get mixed up on this alternative channel. This is my alternative channel, Anti-War. So welcome to Anti-War. And then we'll switch back to the other channel after this. But here is Bay Street Spirits Blended American Whiskey. Produced, aged, and bottled in Florida by Florida Caribbean Distillers. When most people think of whiskey, and most people, that includes me too, we don't think of Florida, but there is a distillery down there. Crafted from a unique blend of 20% straight whiskey and 80% grain neutral spirits. Could it have coloring added? It could. It's allowed. Could have flavoring added. They don't have to disclose it on blended whiskey, but it seems rather light. There's no age statement, so it has to be aged at least 4 years. Okay, the straight. I'm gonna turn the lamp on in a minute. The straight whiskeys in here would have to be at least 4 years old. Then the grain spirits, they can be raw, unaged. If they do store them, it has to be stored in wood, though. Grain spirits do have to be stored in wood, grain neutral spirits. So I guess if they're storing it in wood, it's theoretically aging in wood, right? But probably not going to be stored very long. Now, see how light this is? It's very pale. Amber gold, very pale amber gold. That's a very light whiskey. So my thinking is they're probably not adding coloring. It's just taking on that color from the wood. Probably some leftover char. It's probably a used barrel, but we don't know. We don't know. It's just a guess. So let's add the Pepsi made with real sugar. All right, let me take a little sip of this whiskey. And it has some bourbon aroma. Got that ethanol flavor from the grain spirits, that unaged grain. It's like corn, produced and bottled by. Okay. Little wood and a lot of corn because it's the grain spirit. Grain neutral spirits can be made from any kind of grain, but corn is the most inexpensive one. So we would assume that's what they're using. Most inexpensive one in the United States. Ronnie S says, hey, Ron. Hello to you, Ronnie S. There it is with the Pepsi made with real sugar. We know there's caramel color added to that because it says on the can caramel color added. That's what makes it brown. Remember they made that Pepsi Crystal or Pepsi Clear one time? Had no coloring added. People wouldn't buy it. Thought it looked gross. Identical product, but they didn't add the coloring. People were like, oh. So the appearance sometimes can affect your overall experience with it. Yeah. Tastes like American blended whiskey mixed with Pepsi-Cola made with real sugar. Whiskey and Pepsi, yeah. And it's the real Pepsi-Cola made with real sugar. 99% of the Pepsi-Cola, well, they call it Pepsi. 99% of all the Pepsi is made with high fructose corn syrup. This is called Pepsi-Cola made with real sugar. The old name think 1963 they changed Pepsi-Cola to Pepsi. But they're not too strict about that, because if you look at the website, they just call it Pepsi with real sugar. Pepsi made with real sugar. Then you click on it and it shows the Pepsi-Cola can made with real sugar. But technically, it's Pepsi-Cola made with real sugar as opposed to Pepsi. Is this a new version of Pepsi? It's actually the original version of Pepsi. Back in the 1980s, they switched over, just like most of the cola companies, to the use of high fructose corn syrup, which changed the taste. To me, the high fructose corn syrup sweetener is nasty for a soft drink. I mean, they're okay, but it's got like a sweetness burn. Artificial sweetener, it's a real sweetener. Corn syrup is, I guess, a type of sugar, but it just got this burn to it, whereas the cane sugar does not. Okay, so let me try the Pepsi-Cola made with real sugar without the liquor in it. So like a throwback version, exactly. And in fact, when it first came out 20 years ago, I think it was called Pepsi Throwback. Had a different can design, Pepsi Throwback. And apparently it's still sold as Pepsi Throwback in some countries, maybe where it was popular. It didn't really catch on around here. I remember when Pepsi Throwback first came out, and it said on the can, this is made with real sugar, like the old Pepsi. And I bought some, and I was like, oh yeah, this is the way it's supposed to taste. And then I didn't really see it too much anymore. Now I don't drink soft drinks anyway. And then recently, maybe in the last year, I started seeing this, maybe in less than a year. So I was like, I'm gonna have to investigate this in a mix-up. And it's worked out. I did 2 Nikolai videos on this channel, 2 live. I thought I didn't realize I did 2, but that's okay. Then on the main channel, I did the Nikolai plus Pepsi-Cola made with real sugar recorded video, not a live video. And next Sunday, I plan on bringing in another liquor, maybe most probably a blended Canadian whiskey. So we'll have the premium vodka with premium liqueur, the American blended whiskey from Florida, then the Canadian whiskey, Canadian blended whiskey. So that'll be 3 different liquors. Pepsi-Cola, it's just like Coca-Cola. They use cola nuts. That's where it gets that distinctive flavor from the cola nuts. Like you brew coffee, you use coffee beans, the cola nuts are used in the cola. Pepsi-Cola gets the stimulant from the caffeine, right? Coca-Cola uses caffeine too, but they used to use cocaine. They claim they never had cocaine in it. If you read the website for Coca-Cola, it says Coca-Cola has never contained cocaine. But yeah, that's pretty much not true. They took that out in the 80s, but they didn't really take it out, because if Coca-Cola is the biggest American purchaser of coca leaves. Yeah, and there's a special company that produces it for them in the United States. And they say, well, we just put a trace amount so we can keep the name Coca. Coca-Cola. See, that's the type of cola it is. It's a coca leaf cola. This is Pepsi-Cola. Pepsi. Water, sugar, caramel color, phosphoric acid, caffeine, natural flavor. Now, the natural flavor is those hidden spices, those secret spices that you're never going to find out because it's a secret recipe. 150 calories, same as a beer. Not a light beer, but a regular beer. So the only difference between this Pepsi Cola and Pepsi is the sweetener. Cane sugar versus high fructose corn syrup. But I'll tell you right now, don't ever buy this. Don't ever buy this and drink it. Because if you ever buy this and drink it, you'll never drink Pepsi again. You just won't. Can't go back. At International Market in Metairie, Louisiana, in Metairie, at International Market, they sell these big glass 3-liter bottles. And it's got this label. It doesn't say Pepsi-Cola Made with real sugar. It just says Pepsi-Cola, but on the back, it's sugar. So down in Latin America, they always kept these real sugar. They didn't go to high fructose corn syrup. Some people claim that it's a law, like it's not allowed down there. I never heard about the law. Maybe it is, but they never provide any sources. They'll just say it. I said, where'd you find this information? No answer. Somebody was telling me today about the difference between Coors Banquet of the United States and Coors Original of Canada. He said Coors Original in Canada is not made with corn adjunct. Fine. Now I'm waiting. I said, where did you get this information? Just curious, not accusing him of lying. I'd like to read it. So, but if I don't get any source material, then it's not a verifiable comment. You know what I'm saying? It's just somebody talking without backup. If you can't back it up, it's probably best not to bring it up. If you can't back it up, don't bring it up. Now, everything I said today in this video, I can back it up. I can show you the documents. Okay, so this was a good mix-up. I'm curious to see what the Canadian whiskey is going to taste like with this. My feeling is probably won't be much different. Won't be much different, but we'll see. You like this one better? Oh yeah. Try not to drink soda, but when I do, I prefer Pepsi over Coke. I can't really say I have a preference because both of those to me are like non-approachable because of the high fructose corn syrup. So I don't drink either one and never want to. Or that would include any of the high fructose corn syrup products. Mr. Pibb was good back in the 70s, but that's when they were using the doggone real sugar. And then they switched over to the corn syrup, and now there's Pip Extra, which has got extra amounts of high fructose corn syrup, so it's extra sweet. And now they don't make Mr. Pibb anymore. They just make Pib Extra, which is sold at rallies, by the way. If you ever, or what do they call it in Florida? Rallies is called Checkers. And in Baton Rouge. If you ever want to get Pib Extra, go to rallies. It'll be a fountain drink. Or go to any athletic event at Louisiana State University. They always sell Pib Extra. I don't know why. They always did. They never had Dr. Pepper. Some kind of contract. When they first came out with Mr. Pibb in 1972, though, it wasn't called Mr. Pibb. Oh, Dr. Pepper's your favorite? I found the Dr. Pepper made with real sugar, Ronnie. I found the Dr. Pepper made with real sugar. I bought it, and now it's out the store. I knew it wasn't going to last. I said, watch, it's going to be here, and then it's going to disappear. And it was there, and it disappeared. If you ever drink Dr. Pepper made with real sugar, you'll never drink regular Dr. Pepper again. I know that much. But anyway, when Mr. Pibb hit the market in 1972, it was called Peppo. It wasn't called Mr. Pibb. It was called Peppo. Peppo, P-E-P-P-O, Peppo. And me and my sister used to like it. We would say, Peppo, we want Peppo. My mama would let us drink one can after church on a Sunday. One can. That's it. But then Coca-Cola sued them. No, I'm sorry. Dr. Pepper sued Coca-Cola and said it was a copyright infringement. It was too much like Dr. Pepper, Peppo. So they were like, oh, all right. They settled out of court in 1974. They said, fine, we'll just change the name of it. They might have paid them some money. They changed it to Mr. Pibb. Yeah. But if you could find an old can or bottle of Peppo, you probably got a collector's item, 50 years old. I've actually tasted Dr. Pepper at Checkers. Dr. Pep. Oh, you asked for Dr. Pepper at Checkers, and they said that Pibb is like the same thing. That's the only time I've had Pibb. That is basically Coca-Cola's version of Dr. Pepper. Pib Extra now. Remember, they changed it to Pib Extra. They used to have both, Pib and Pib Extra. But I don't know why they dropped Mr. Pibb. I couldn't figure that out. But now it's just Pib Extra. I don't know. There's Pib Extra Diet. I would never try that. And if you look on the Coca-Cola website, there's like Pib Extra Cherry or something, you know. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, Checkers Rallies Pib Extra. Well, that's not important. If I found a Pib Extra made with real sugar, oh well, immediately I would buy it. Of course, I'd immediately buy it. I got my eye on some more Frosty. The local store I was buying Frosty at stopped selling it. It said, no, it's gone. I guess it wasn't really selling. So I was like, man, I wanted to get some more Frosty eventually. And then I was at Winn-Dixie and they had 24-ounce bottles of it for $1.29. Used to be 99 cents, but thanks to the JB inflation, it went up. But all of them, I checked every bottle. They had like 10 different flavors, all made with real sugar. I was like, aha, I'm on the right trail. I can handle a soft drink once a week. It's about all I can tolerate. And this is the once a week. Okay, interesting about Pib. I thought it was just like a no frills brand. No, it's a Coca-Cola brand, and they used to have a lot of advertisements on television back in the 1970s and 80s. Mr. Pibb posters at the stores and the restaurants and everything, and it was sort of like a pretty close rival to Dr. Pepper, but and people would argue back and forth which was better, you know. I always sided with Mr. Pibb, but other people say, oh no, you know, but I guess it faded and it's no longer made. They replaced it. They introduced Pib Extra and then phased out Mr. Pibb, and now it's just Pib Extra. Okay, well, we got that story. Okay, I said it enough times. But yeah, you can check the Coca-Cola website. You can see it on there. I'm enjoying a Corona right now while watching the Rays game. Yeah, I was watching the Saints preseason game, but I couldn't stay interested in that. Preseason's hard to watch, but I wanted to see how the starting first string would play, and they did fine. And but when they start putting in these third stringers, fourth string, that most of them won't even make the team. I'm like, no, I'm not watching a practice session. I can't do it. But that's all right. Well, y'all take care, and cheers to the Pepsi-Cola Made with real sugar. And next Sunday, the plan is to be back with Caliber Canadian blended whiskey plus Pepsi-Cola Made with real sugar. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.